almost like it was, ripped off. Like I'm kind of, that's what I meant about, what is the object doing? What is this edge doing? It looks ripped. It looks, uh, it, it's paper mache. You place it on, you either rip it off and then you put it back down and get it in the right place. So I'm trying to do that same kind of thing here. Whether it's like it looks ripped off. My hand is gonna kind of, try to imitate that act. Okay. So I'm going to continue lifting out some of the values in here. Come in, lift out some of my highlights. I can blend with the magic rub here. So just press it on, lift it up. You can get some pretty interesting marks going. You can even layer this up here. So I have already, just by doing that was 15 seconds of using that tool, and I'm already getting a variety of edges. I'm getting this hard edge here. I'm getting some of these soft edges around here. This little highlight here, and then light, shadow, core of the shadow here, reflected light, all these different things. And this is just in 15 minutes. I could really push the shit out of this, but I gotta be mindful of time here. Okay. Let's try one more object. So this is an old, this is actually an old ashtray, and I believe it lights cigarettes too, because this thing on the back is kind of like a mirror, and you put it in the sun, you hold it up, and it's like a magnifying glass kind of thing. Okay. So here's this. This is a little bit better. We'll keep it on the same page here. Let's do it over here. So basically we have, we pretty much have a sphere for this. So I'm going to start out with a circle here. By doing this I can find kind of the most, fitting line amongst those that looks almost like a perfect circle. That's pretty good. Now, you have the little base down here, which is just another, it's an ellipse this time, if you guys remember ellipses, with a couple edges that go up, in. This, we have another ellipse around here. So if you can sight that angle, pop it up, and then put it in. this lid white so it's just silver. I can come in and do that with even a different pencil like an H, so it's a little bit lighter. It's not as soft, it's a little bit more gray and muted. It's not quite as intense as some of this value. And I can come in, work a little bit darker, looking at this shadow here, because this is all reflected light under here. This table's really white, so it's really coming back on that. So I'm looking at this shadow, how it goes around here. Replace that in. It's even darker right here. Using the side of my pencil here to blend and put in value all at once. I'm going to carry that value straight down here. This is all in shadow under here. So I'm putting in that line, or that massive shadow. By putting that in, it's making the underside of this pop a little bit more. Now to really get that reflected light, I've been playing with this the whole time, so it's kind of warmed up, so I can move it a little bit more and shape it. I'm going to shape it and come in, kind of lift out some of that reflected light from underneath. Light touches with the eraser to blend out and soften that edge. I don't want it to be too hard there. So you'll notice it kind of gets on the eraser a little bit there. So I can just clean it off if I want to. And I have this shadow coming off there. And it joins up with this shadow in there. I see that light behind there, so I'm going to take that with my eraser. It's going to make that shadow pop a little bit more. Come in here, put in some of the highlight area. So it's just all about working it. You just keep working it. And the more you work it, the more believable your value is going to be. Let's just do one layer and be done with it. Put another layer down. Maybe you erase the whole area. Maybe like I'm not satisfied with this at all, so I come back in and get rid of that. And by putting it back in, you get an even more intense buildup of layer, of tone, of graphite, and it starts to become a little bit more rich. And by rich, I mean rich in tone, rich in texture. Like you can see some of the marks I made earlier, you know, whether it's with the tip of the pencil that kind of embossed the paper a little bit. So really work these drawings. I'm going to be putting in this cast shadow here. Okay, so light source coming in. It's hitting the top of this. We're getting a shadow off of this thing here. Get rid of some of these lines so it's a little bit more concise here. It's coming in, getting a shadow off of this. It's casting down. It's following the form, just like the water thing. It's coming around here. We're getting our highlights, we're getting our light, our shadow, our core of the shadow here, reflected light. This is, you know, another core of the shadow, followed by shadow, light, it just reverse. Then we have cast shadow coming out this way. Alright guys, hope that helps. Email any questions, If you need any help, charcoal is pretty much the same as everything else. You treat it just like a pencil. You know, value scale. Maybe you do a value scale. Practice your value scale so you know what the pencil can do, what kind of values you can get with it. Because with an H, I'll never be able to get that dark. I'll start ripping through the paper if I try to get that dark. So it might be a little bit easier for you guys to use like an H. You know, it's a little bit harder. You don't have to worry about getting too dark too quick. Plus it lists off a little bit easier as long as you don't press too hard. It comes off the page a lot easier in case you fuck up and make a mistake. But, alright guys, thanks for watching.